This amazing adolescent prophet was born on the 22nd of March, 1982. Saint Great Martyr Grigory Rasputin-Novych predicted his birth. He told that if the Nicholas II didn't sacrifice his son Alexei, there wouldn't be an adolescent in Russia. And if there was no adolescent, there wouldn't be the last Tsar. The monks in Caucasus had a vision. They saw Saint Adolescent Vyacheslav keeping the crown of the approaching Tsar. The last Tsar will come to call his people for the tortoise on the cross, for the last battle with the evil, with the Antichrist. And Saint Adolescent Vyacheslav prepared his way, like Saint John the Baptist prepared the way for Jesus Christ. The adolescent wants people not to take private numbers, the world's passport of the devil, and a chip. It means not to allow people to implant microcircuits into your body. This Russian angel went aloft on the 17th of March, 1993, of an unknown kind of cancer, having left lots of predictions and exposures to us. He said, the world will be ruined by profit, people betray the God too quickly, everything is determined in the heaven, the God will come to the earth very soon. Dear brothers and sisters, Adolescent Vyacheslav came to this world in order to warn you not to take the world's passport of the devil, not to implant chip, even small certificate or any other document from the world government is from the Satan. It means from the devil. And people who took his mark on the forehead or on the right hand wouldn't be forgiven by the God. Now I'm going to tell you some of Saint Vyacheslav's predictions. Vyacheslav thought that two big similar houses would be blown up in the USA. Then the Statue of Liberty would be blown up from below. According to his predictions, planes and helicopters will crash very often until people will understand that they shouldn't occupy airspace, and they annoy the UFO. It means they annoy the demons. People will understand that they hinder demons, distracting them from doing their work in the air, because the demons are preparing for the war with the God. The God's people connecting with the powerful people of our world. It won't be quiet in houses and flats. People will see different anomalous phenomena. All documents will be from the Satan. Vyacheslav told that the money of Antichrist would appear. They would be called euro. The USA would be the last country which would take euro. According to Saint Vyacheslav's prediction, the last document will be the world's passport, which will look like a small grey plate. When people take it, installed equipment will put three small numbers, 666, like a tattoo on the forehead or on the right hand with the help of laser beams. At the beginning, no one will see this tattoo, but then they will shine with greenish light like on a scoreboard. If a person tries to get rid of that numbers, 666, and cut his hand, these numbers will appear on the stamp. And if a person was cut on pieces, these numbers would appear on each piece. At the beginning, people will be confused by these brands, but then they will stop hiding that mark of Antichrist. Gradually, these people will become very angry, and they will be especially angry with people who won't have that mark. Saint Adolescent told that if a human didn't bear the hunger, went to the shop and bought food there, then coming through the cash register he would get these three numbers, 6, 6 and 6. And people who got them wouldn't be able to die. Such people would be like immortals. If one of them wanted to commit suicide and having accelerated on his car, he would crash into something, he would smash to smithereens. But like a monster in a horror film, the parts of his body would join each other, and the man would return to life. According to Saint Vyacheslav's predictions, the devil wants to right the war between Muslims and Christians, but the gods won't permit the world war between them. The Muslims and the Christians will have to unite, because the Buddhists will rise. Russia will fight with China. When Americans will be on the brink of war with the Chinese, at the last moment, the Americans will be frightened of China. That's why they will impact them with us. Vyacheslav told that the Chinese would kill Russian men and boys. and sterilized Russian people. He told that the Americans would use psychological weapon against the Chinese and drive them back to the place they came from. Vyacheslav told, "It's a sin to change religions. It's a sin to leave your motherland because of profit. And it's a great sin to betray the God for money." Vyacheslav called it a service to the bottomless pit. His predictions say England will sink and Englishmen will evacuate to Russia. The government of England knows it, but they don't believe it. He said that the hell exists and is below us. When Vyacheslav was asked about Stalin, he told, "There is such place in the hell where boiling liquid flows, and there are lots of people. Some of them are dipped there up to heels, some of them are dipped up to knee or up to chest, and Stalin is completely in it. It's very cold on the bottom of the hell. There is ice. The most sinful people are placed there. If someone tries to get out of the boiling liquid or out of the fire, the demons severely dip them back. There are also rooms where people sit in the darkness. They aren't martyred there. The demons hate people very much because the God makes up the number of fallen angels with saint people. The God threw those fallen angels to the earth for disobedience. According to Saint Vyacheslav's words, one saint is more valuable than the whole our science and all our priests taken together. But there are people who are considered to be saints, but they are the warlocks. There is such place in the hell where the main big worm is placed. There are also a lot of other worms which get into people's nose, mouth, eyes or ears. The UFO are the demons. They drag alive people. The demons will come to us as the UFO. They will say to us that they are drawn away by the evil space power, but actually they will be driven away by the God. They will be masked and they will look like people, because their real appearance is horrible. All over the world, people will be invited to the landed UFO for check-up and treatment. People will come to them on a mass scale in order to become healthy. But after this visit, people will turn into zombies. Vyacheslav always said that the whole world will be ruined by profit. He was very surprised by people's unconcern and money grabbing. He always said, "Everyone will appear before the God, and what will they say? Antichrist will allow all the vices. He will say that the God doesn't need people to restrain themselves, as if everything is created by the God for people to enjoy it. People will be indignant with the church and its doctrines. They will think that church doctrines are wrong. They will accept false doctrines of the Antichrist about the uselessness of the abstinence, fast, and pious life in general. When the Antichrist will make false miracles and tell that he is the God, the Christians will see Jesus Christ, the Muslims will see Muhammad, and the Buddhists will see Buddha in him." Vyacheslav told, "Mommy, there is so many demons around him, around the Antichrist, but people will conceive him as a god, and the demons will be conceived as angels. He will stink, but people won't feel it. Only selected ones won't come to look at him. It's dangerous not only to look at him, but even to glance at him, because he will seem to people very attractive, and if someone likes him, the Antichrist will take his soul." Vyacheslav was astonished. He told, "How shameless he is, how horrible he is. His face is white like if it was strewn with flour, and he looks at me so maliciously. The devil will move mountains, and people will touch that mount with great astonishing. But on the real life there won't be any mount at all, just it will seem to them. The God will enclose with his power people who will be faithful to the God, and that people, uniting in small settlements, won't be accessible to the Antichrist and his servants. That people will be invisible for them. The people who won't betray the God won't be changed. They will be just ordinary people, as they are nowadays."